Welcome to Think Your Way Up with Dr. Jinneh, the only space in the world where neuroscience, executive leadership, and purpose-driven principles collide to help you disrupt your dysfunctional thoughts and do life and business better. I'm Dr. Jinneh, the friend in your head who will challenge you each week to evict your mental chatter, eliminate your yo-yo thinking, and help you attain the clarity and tools to think up. So let's disrupt the mental chatter together because your next breakthrough starts now. Welcome to Think Your Way Up.
Hey, ThinkUP Friend, it's Dr. Jinneh, and today I'm back with another episode of Think Your Way Up. And guess what? You're in for a treat because today is all about you. I want to serve you well. And let me tell you, y'all showed up. I went out to my people and said, hey, send me your questions. I want to be able to serve you. I want to be able to help you. And y'all came through. So today I'm going to be answering all your questions. So tap in, grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, because let me tell you, even if you didn't get your question answered in this episode, in this show, you still can get value on what I'm going to share with other people. And your question will be answered on a future podcast. So let's jump into it. This is from Anna from Seattle, Washington. So what's up, Anna? Anna said, Dr. Jinneh, I've launched my coaching business a few months ago, but I'm struggling to get clients. I posted on social media, told my friends, and even offered free sessions, but no one is buying. What am I doing wrong? Anna. Girl, I hear you. Nothing is more frustrating than putting an effort and seeing little to no return. I have stories that I can share with you about how this has been part of my life and part of my journey. But here's what I've learned from those experiences, because you remember, there's no losses, there's only lessons. So here's the lessons. People don't buy just because you exist. They buy because they see value. So your offer may be good, it may be solid, but it may not be clear enough or positioned correctly. So here's what I need you to do. And Anna, because I like you, I went snooping on your page, and I think I can give you some specific information that may help you. So on your page, which is beautiful, but the messaging is a little bit off. I'm on the page and I had no idea who you were really talking to or who you were working with. I saw language as I'm a life coach. I help busy moms. I help busy women. I help busy professionals. So which one is it? Is it moms? Is it women? Is it busy professionals? Because those are not all the same. You can be the woman and not be a mom. You could be a mom, but not be busy, not be a professional. So who are you speaking to? So I kept digging, and I think, and you let me know, send me a DM if I'm clear. But what I think you are trying to convey is that you help working moms manage stress without burnout. If that's the case, I want you to say it, because I saw a lot of information, a lot of data, a lot of things about stress and burnout and systems at work, systems at home, and how to build that. So let's just put it out there. Like, I help working moms manage stress without burnout. And then I want you to clarify your transformation. Remember, people pay for results, not features. You had a lot of information on there about you're going to get 3 coaching calls. You're going to get this. You're going to get that. And I don't care about the features. What is the transformation? How do you help with my pain? How do you help with my issue? Like, by the end of this program, you'll have a stress-free daily routine. Now I know by the end of this program, I'm going to get a stress-free daily routine. That means you're going to give me a routine I need to follow. You also want to showcase your social proof. I didn't see any testimonials. You said, people, you're not getting the return. You put it out there. You haven't had people buy, but who have you helped? Have you helped people? What has quantified your movement for this? Who are the people that you've helped? Have you helped people at your church, people on your job, your neighborhood, your PTA? Like, even if you don't have clients, you still can get testimonials from people that you've helped. Even if you don't have a lot of paid clients, offer some free things that people can't work with you on. Offer some low ticket prices, ways that people can work. And the reason why is that you need receipts. You got to build that social credibility. And the only way you build that is some people can see that you have worked with other people. This is why reviews are so important. Like, when we're shopping online, the first thing I do when I see a product, I go to reviews. I go, what are the people saying? I go to the low reviews, the high reviews, and I focus on the middle. Focus on the middle. Like, what are the most people saying? The average. And this is not just me. 90%, 92% of consumers, they trust peer recommendations more than they trust ads. because a company can tell you what they want you to believe. They're going to tell you what they want you to know and think. But it's the buyers, it's the users, it's that end user experience that we trust more. So when I look at what you're doing, here's my hypothesis. You don't have a sales problem. You have a messaging and a positioning problem. So once you fix that, your sales will come. All right. So let me know if you have any specific questions. Thank you so much, Anna. All right. So let's move on. Oh, we got some speaker. All right. It says, hey, Dr. Jinneh, I want to be a speaker, but every time I think about getting on stage or even going live on Instagram, I freeze. My heart races. I stumble over my words and I just feel like people are judging me. How do I build the confidence? Thank you so much. And this is D from Dallas, Texas. What's up, D? So D, first off, this is completely normal. Even experienced speakers feel nervous before a talk. I always tell myself, if I don't feel nervous, if I don't feel that I am having an out-of-body experience, then I probably shouldn't be doing the thing that I'm doing. Like, I get nervous every single time. I get nervous talking to my students in my university class. I get nervous when I'm hosting your program. It's just a part of it. But you learn how to turn that nervous energy into positive energy. So first off, it is completely normal. The fear that you feel, now this is just your brain trying to protect you from embarrassment. Remember, our brains were developed and they're wired to protect us. So fear and excitement, they trigger the same physiological response. So that's why they both feel the same. Fear and excitement, they both trigger the same physiological response. Now you just have to do like this switch in the brain and say, I'm not nervous, I'm not scared, I'm excited, I'm energized, I'm passionate. So I want you to flip the narrative, okay? So here's how it works. And this is what I do. Instead of saying I'm nervous, I'm going to say I'm excited to share my message. I'm excited to see transformation in real time happen in this room. So I'm taking that nervousness, but I'm flipping the script because that's really what I am. I may be nervous and this is going to happen, but I'm excited. I really believe. So I'm going to lean more into the physiological response that I want to have. So I'm excited to share my message. I'm excited to see people and lives transform in this moment. I also make sure that I rehearse all the time. Like every single day, I'm talking, I'm practicing, I'm perfecting my speech. So start small. Record videos for yourself. Work on like your voice, diction, your pitch, your tone, your inflection. Like do voice recordings. Like I want you to practice. And then I want you to start going live. Start doing that. Build those muscles before you just try to get like on a grand stage. Like build the muscle. Practice, perfect it. See where you stumble. Are you stumbling in a transition? Are you using filler words? Why are you using a filler word? Really take a moment to dissect. Like watch your game film. How an athlete, they will watch the film on themselves to identify what they need to do differently and better. I want you to do the same thing. Record yourself on camera and voice recording. And I want you to watch your filler words, your expression, your tone, your diction, your pitch, your fluency, the volume. I want you to watch all that and think about what do I need to do to get better? And then lastly, and this is probably the most important one, anchor yourself in purpose. Your message isn't about you. It's about the people that need to hear it. So shift the focus from how do I sound to how can I serve? You got to shift that because when you make it about you, you got to be your head. It's going to be ego. But when you're like, okay, God's giving me this message. I hope that it comes out the way that it's intended to come out. I'm just being a vessel. I'm being here to serve and serve well. And guess what? It's okay to fumble your words. It's okay to make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. Heck, I've been fumbling all through this podcast, but it's not about me. If I make it about me, then I've missed the mark. I've missed the moment. I've missed the opportunity. It's about how can I serve the person that is on the other side, that is ready for a breakthrough. And remember, you don't need to be fearless to do this. You just need to show up and push through because the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. So thank you. I can't wait to meet you. Can't wait to hear how your next TikTok goes. All right, let's do another one. Dr. Jinneh, I'm wearing all the hats in my business. Marketing, sales, content creation, client work is exhausting. I feel like I'm always busy, but not actually growing. How do I fix this? Angela, I could have wrote this myself. And so many other entrepreneurs. This is an entrepreneurial trap where we are busy, but we are not productive. So you need to shift from doing everything to doing what is going to move the needle. In business, we call this our KPIs. Like, what are your key performance indicators? What are the drivers in your business? What are the things that only you can do that will only move the needle? So you got to get clear on all the things you're doing. So I'll make a list, all the things I'm doing. And then I want you, can somebody else do this? Or do I have to do this? So make that list. The things that other people can do, you got to figure out a way to delegate. That's number one. Got to figure out a way to delegate. And then the things that only you can do, I want you to think about what's priority. So you got to shift from doing everything to only doing what moves the needle. So let's quantify this a little more and give you some specific things. So after you make the list of what can other people do, what can I do, I want you to look at from this perspective. I want you to identify tasks that are $100+ and up. So these are tasks that may be 200, 300, 400, 500. Anything that generates revenue is a high priority, high dollar task. That's sales calls, that's coaching sessions, that's speaking engagements. Those should be your priority. At the face of your company, as the most valuable person in the company, that has to be where you're going to plant your feet in those sales calls, those coaching sessions, those speaking engagements. That's your priority. Anything else, you got to automate or you have to delegate. Those are what we call low impact tasks. So high impact or priority, only things that you can do. Low impact tasks, these are things that other people can do. You can use AI, you can use scheduling tools, or even a virtual assistant for admin work, but you got to delegate those things. Go to ChatGPT, put those in ChatGPT and ask, how can I delegate this? Here's my budget, or I have no budget. What can I do to get help? And the last thing, you got a time block and you got to batch content. So when you switch back and forth from doing this to doing that, it lowers your productivity by 40%. So you don't want to switch tasks. You want to lock in. You want to have blocks of time where you only do this, blocks of time where you only do that, or even certain days. I can't really do the days because of my schedule. I speak so much, so I can't do days, but I do hours. Like today is my batch recording day. I'm batching podcast episodes. I'm doing 8 today. That's just a way that I know I need to lock into podcasts. I'll do my 8 podcasts and then I'll do all the other smaller tasks that are associated with the podcast after this. But that's what I'm doing for this day. So you got to lock in, you got to get clear. You're not far off. It's an entrepreneurial trap that we all fall into when we're building and getting started, but you can get out. Your business grows when you focus on income producing activities. So this is where you have to work smarter and not harder in this season. All right. So let me know. All right. Let's do 2 more and then we'll come back and we'll add the other ones. Okay. This is from, who's this from? This is from Keith. Keith said, hey, Dr. Jinneh, I've made some money in my business, but it's inconsistent. Some months are good. Others are dry. How do I create steady revenue? All right. What's up, Keith from Baltimore? So Keith, listen, inconsistent income is a systems problem, not a talent problem. So it's not that you lack talent, not that you lack intellect, not that you lack the education, the experience. It's just a systems problem. Inconsistent money means we have inconsistent systems. And I know this firsthand. So the key to build predictable revenue streams, it starts with offering a recurring service. So not sure exactly what type of business you have. I'm assuming it's coaching, consulting, or speaking. But I want you to think about, instead of a one-time offer, how can you create monthly revenue with that one thing? So instead of doing like a one-time coaching, can that be a membership group? Can that be a group coaching program? Instead of going into a keynote, can that keynote become a training? Could become a monthly workshop, a webinar series, a video series. Like, I want you to think about, how can you offer a recurring service? And trust me, I would have some blocks because I'm like, nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to pay that. And let me tell you, they did, especially in the speaking world, where I position myself to offer monthly sessions to my clients, because that will help you bring in a baseline. The second thing is that you want to start really thinking about your email marketing. Like, this is more than just social media. This is where you're going to build a connection between the email marketing. So this is like, so I think of social media as you're at a club and you give everyone your number. And then the email marketing is you only start talking to one person. You're building that connection and chemistry. So social media is like everybody has your number. You're trying to engage all of them. Some are paying attention to you, some are not. But in the email, you have their undivided attention. So you want their undivided attention. So focus on building your email list and then diversify your income. So the inconsistency is an opportunity for you to diversify. So what can you do? If you're a speaker, how can you do more speaking? How can you turn your speaking content into courses? How can those courses become digital products? Like, how can you take the one thing you do and create multiple streams? Multiple streams equals more stability, because when one stream is down, you have others. And that's what really helps you in that income. The biggest thing for me, especially as a speaker, and I would love to know more about your business, so send me an email. The biggest thing for me was, unless I was speaking, I wasn't making money. And that is a hard space to be in. And if I'm being totally transparent, I'm still moving myself out of that space. I'm not on the clear side. Speaking is still a big portion of our revenue model. So where I'm going and where I want you to start thinking about is, how can you create systems that would generate income when you're not actively speaking, teaching, or training? Because that's the real game changer. That's the real wealth buffer, is to create when you are not working. All right, so let's do one more and then we will come back. Y'all let me know if y'all like these. If you like the Q&As, me answering questions, if this is helping, let me know if you like it or if I don't need to do it, just do it after each episode. But I had so many questions from people that I was like, oh, let me just make this its own standalone episode. All right, so here's the last one that we'll do today. It says, Dr. Jinneh, I keep doubting myself. Every time I post, I wonder, who am I to talk about this? I see other experts doing the same thing and I feel like I'm not enough. How do I get past imposter syndrome? So let me be real with you. And this is Stacy from Georgia. Stacy, stop putting a label and stop identifying with imposter syndrome. Whatever you identify is what you attach and connect yourself to. Like, we don't even speak that. Go back to an episode, I want to say it's episode 2, where I talked about how I don't identify with imposter syndrome, because I believe that if you call to it, then God will qualify you. And I walk into the rooms and walk through doors that God has put me in. Like, I don't force myself in any rooms. I don't beg to get in the rooms. I don't beg to get on the stages. So whatever door I'm walking through is because God has put me in that space to walk through those doors. So therefore, I feel qualified because He has called me to it. Now, does my resume match up to other people? Absolutely not. Do my certifications, qualifications match up to other people? Probably not. But what I know at this stage of my life is that they just have more time on me, but they don't trump me. Like, they don't have more education or intellect than I have. And education is not just formal. It is a worldview. Like, I'm just as gifted. I'm just as talented. I'm just as qualified, if not more. I believe that what I have can't be taught, and it definitely cannot be bought. So when I walk into rooms, and when you walk into rooms, you have to know that you belong in that room, and nothing and nobody can stop you. So sometimes it's not even about us believing. It's not even about other people believing these things. It's about our own belief cycles, our own belief systems that are making us feel this way. So because this is a belief system that is rooted in mindset, that is rooted in fear, that is rooted in insecurity, that is rooted in lack, that may be rooted in past trauma, I want you to do some healing work. I want you to do some mindset shifting. So the first thing I want you to do is to start saying, if God has called me to it, then I know that I'm qualified for it. That's number one. The second thing, I want you to document your wins. I want you to have a win folder. What does your receipts folder look like? Testimonials, success stories, things that you overcome. You better write that stuff down. You better read it. You better believe it. It is not about arrogance. It's about confidence. When we are rooted in God, we lead and we walk in confidence and not arrogance. Arrogance is the world. Confidence is God. That's how I think of the two. Arrogance is like, I got here on my own. I got here by myself. Confidence is like, God has given me the favor. God has anointed and appointed me for such a time like this. There's a difference. Arrogance is I did it. Confidence is God did it. So I want you to document your wins, because you got to speak into your life. You got to remind yourself of who you are. You got to remind yourself that you're that girl. You got to remind yourself that you're him. Whatever the case you're in, you got to know who you are and what you bring into the space. One of the things that I stopped saying years ago is that I need to see the table. If I could just get in the table, I can get it. No, 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 no. I am the table. I am the table. Nothing moves. No deals are made. No negotiations happen if I'm not at the table. I am the table. I am the asset. I am the MVP in the room. And it's not about arrogance. It's about what I know that I bring. I cannot be bought. And what I have for organizations, for people, for leaders, this stuff can't be taught. My drive, my determination, my passion, my ability to simplify complex information and break it down, my ability to connect with people in the crack house and the White House, baby, this can't be taught right here. This is what's inside of me. But if I don't spend time building myself up, then I allow the world and other people on the outside to break me down. So I want you to document your wins, keep a receipts folder with all your testimonials, all your success stories, and I want you to start reading that and telling you who you are every single day. You also have to stop comparing yourself. Who am I to talk about this? I see other experts doing the same thing. Who cares what they're doing? Keep your eyes on your paper. We're all running our own races. Keep your eyes on your own paper. You are looking at them. You don't know what chapter they are in their life. You're coming in and you don't even know what chapter they're in. Maybe they've been doing that for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Maybe they're on chapter 150 and you're on chapter 1, but you're comparing yourself with somebody that only has more time invested. Don't do that. Keep your eyes on your own paper and know that for the people that you're called to serve, you're exactly what they need and who they need. And all you have to be, if we think about it, is just one step ahead of the people that you have to help. Remember, I want you to take action anyway. Take action anyway. Confidence comes from doing, not thinking. You don't get more confident just because you think highly. You think a lot. You think strategically. You get confidence when you start taking action. So take action. Believe in you and know that you're only one thought away from greatness. So here's your ThinkUP tip for today. Remember, in anything that we're doing in life, we do not have to be perfect. Nobody's looking for us to be perfect. Do we need to be polished as a professional? Of course. Do we need to be impactful? Of course. Do we have to have it all figured out? Absolutely not. The only thing we have to do is to start. Start with what we have, with where we are, with what's in our hand. And I promise you, your starting spot is more than enough. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode where we got into all of your questions. If you send a question and I didn't answer it, it will be answered on a future episode. And if you want to submit a question, go ahead, drop me an email at info@jinnehdyson.com, and I would love to answer your question and to help you think up and create the future that you want in your mind first. All right, friend, I will see you next week. Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to Think Your Way Up with Dr. Jinneh. I hope today's episode challenged your thinking, shifted your perspective, and gave you the tools to disrupt your mental chatter and step boldly into your greatness. Remember, friend, you're just one thought away from the clarity, confidence, and transformation you deserve. If you love today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs this message. Let's spread the power of thinking up together. Until next time, keep challenging your limits, evicting your doubts, and creating the life and business you were meant to live. You've got this. I believe in you. See you next week on Think Your Way Up with Dr. Jinneh.